Camera ready?
Yeah.
Action?
I'm a dead man walking, hell's at my door. I'm a shadow of the man I was before, and kill till I die.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Would you like to introduce yourself first?
Well, okay, thank you. My name is architect Adrianta Aziz. I'm a practicing architect, and I need to declare half of myself also as an educator. So I graduated from UITM Shah Alam for my part 1, and for my part 2 I further my study at the University of Oxford Brookes, UK. So then I finished up my diploma in architecture, postgrad in architecture, and also master in urban design. And now I'm working with my own firm, Adrianta Aziz Architect, and there's another firm on partnerships. They call it ARAD Architects. And as I mentioned just now, I'm an educator as well. So I have another course company called ARN. So we've been giving courses to all the professionals, young architects, to persuade for their professional exam. They call it Learning Architecture Practice Lab, and also BR, gathering, bear. I'm sure sooner or later you're gonna know this kind of a group community under our society. So that's about myself. Used to work in London before for 1 year before I settled down, came back in Malaysia, and then I've been working as a designer's architect and also project architect called Architect Rekabina. Quite a long experience journey time, because when I start to work with my mentor, I learned a lot. Then back year 2011, when I got my license, so I set up my own sole proprietor called Adrianta Aziz Architects, and then set up with my partners, Architect Rizal Zakaria. So we formed ARAD Architects, and I'm also CEO for one of the developers in Shah Alam. They call it Bina Impian Developments. And now I'm served for the Institute of Malaysian Architects here, PAM. So we'd like to welcome all of you to our building, PAM Center. And now I'm holding my position as an education chairman for PAM. And I begin with my another position, a huge position, as the chairman for AKBAR, so the whole Asia for education in architecture. So that's about me.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Wow. So my first question for the interview is, what inspired you to study architecture?
Okay, what inspired me to study architecture?
And become an architect?
Become an architect. Well, as you know, that when I was young, I love arts actually. When I stayed with my grandparents, I love to use recycled materials to do models, house models, cars and everything when I was a kid. And then I love to draw, and then slowly I love doing some arts, and I love performance and so on. So the inspired things is about, I love arts actually, but initially I don't think to become an architect, and then one day there's a mentor told me that once you finish your SPM, if you want to study arts, so why not you study architecture? And then I just wonder, so what's 17 years old, asking people what's architecture. What I know is what architecture is about designing a house, building. But the magical words came from her. She said that architecture is the mother of art. So that inspired me when she mentioned arts, architecture is the mother of arts. We covered not only about architecture, but the other dimension about arts. So this is what I am now. I'm not only doing architecture, I'm also doing teaching, I'm also doing my own arts, I'm also doing my own music, my own dress. I got my own TV program. I love to do events. So it's the things that I love. It's just because of arts. So that's inspired me.
So how long have you been practicing now?
How long I've been practicing now? Wow, you're going to know my age now, right? Well, I can mention that more than 20 years now in architecture field. This is more than 20 years? Yeah, okay, more than 20 years. But by my own practicing firm that I've been organized since year 2011. Now, what?
2022, 11 years.
11 years? Lucky number 11.
So among the projects that you've been doing over the years, would you like to highlight some of your favorite ones?
Well, okay. Every project is my favorite. So it's none to say what is the best or what is the worst. But the best project that I can share with you is about when you dealing a project, any type of project, when the moment you saw your end user, your clients, have a can create a smile and then happy that having their space, that's considered the best moment. I'm not considered as the best project. I want to share with you when the best moment, when you start to design on paper and then share your concept to your client, and then when you transform all your sketches to the applications, to the apps, to the AutoCADs, Revits, Lumions, 3D Max, and then when transferred to the construction drawings, submission drawings, and then can you imagine that all the design process after the end, scale 1:1 in front of you, and with the certificate of completion and compliance, and when the end user use the space, use the building, the best moment is when you saw their smile, they're happy to appreciate the space that you created, you designed. I think that's the best moment. That's the best experience. It's about satisfaction.
The first project is the auditorium for the Faculty of Economics and Administration in University Malaya. This project is focusing on the interior design of the auditorium to be as functional as possible and aesthetically done as well. He also shared a story of how he asked the construction workers to play some songs during the construction works to instill some sort of positive energy towards the work that they were doing. Next, his second project is the Institusi Perguruan Perempuan Melayu Melaka. The institute is designed for the teachers in Melaka. Adrianta mentioned that this project is one of the experimental projects where he and his team wanted a tropical approach with a strong Malaysian identity of the building. Not to mention, with a great team that he had, the project managed to be handed over 6 months earlier than the expected date.
The third project is the shop lot office located at Perbadanan Kemajuan Negeri Selangor PKNS Shah Alam. What interesting about this shop lot project is the design process that took 2 to 3 years to finish according to Adrianta. The challenging part is to fulfill the client's need without exceeding the client's budget. What he loves about the design of this shop lot is the different facades of each shop lot, unlike the typical shop lot design in Malaysia. He advised us to not overreact on design, concept and be humble but not timid.
For the next two projects is about the competition, where the first one is the competition held by Pertubuhan Arkitek Malaysia (PAM) and Academic Science Malaysia. According to Adrianta, he and his team used a sustainable and green architecture approach for this project. With a great collaboration with Bicudro Architects from Italy and PE International from Germany, this project managed to be on the cover of a magazine for its stunning and unconventional design.
Another project that he had shared with us is Bangunan Tan Sri Azman Hashim, which is a building for Faculty of Business and Accountancy in University Malaya that was funded by Tan Sri Azman Hashim, one of the richest businessmen in Malaysia. The main task for this project is to break the monotonous of the surrounding and be the most iconic building in University Malaya. What interesting about the design is the team intentionally designed the building to be looking like an abstract of a cupping hands towards the Qiblat from the Google Maps view. This project was really a piece of art according to Adrianta.
The sixth project is the mini library project, namely Perpustakaan Anggerik Aranda in Shah Alam, owned by a local authority. Originally, the building was abandoned. What he wanted to share with us through this project is to always prepare a great USP, unique selling proposition, in designing and to go beyond the brief and offer many options to the client like he and his team did in this project. Last but not least, the placemaking project in Alamanda Putrajaya. This project's task was to cheer up the negative space at the Alamanda Shopping Centre stairs to optimize the space for users to enjoy the beautiful scenery of the lake.